This is the job I've always wanted. I tried 3 times in order to get this job. My 3rd time was the charm. Every aspect of an agent's job is what I wanted.
At 10 years old, I wanted to be a conservation agent. I did everything I could to work on it from there.
Being a conservation agent is not a job. It's not simply a job that you just clock in and go do. It's a calling. It's something deep inside that tells you that you have a duty, and that's to protect the resources of the state of Missouri so that others can enjoy it. That's why I became an agent.
Conservation agents enforce the rules of the Wildlife Code of Missouri and state laws on both public and private lands. This involves working alone and sometimes in teams. Agents work mostly outdoors in all kinds of weather. In warmer months, it may include checking fishing permits and creel limits, catching violators with illegal net or fish traps. In colder months, it may include checking waterfowl, deer, and upland game hunters. Patrols and stakeouts are a part of the job as well as paperwork. It can be risky as many violators are armed, especially during hunting seasons. MDC agents are trained and prepared to handle a variety of law enforcement situations. Each county is different, and so an agent's responsibilities will be determined by the terrain and needs of his community. Education is another important part of an agent's job. Many agents offer programs for school groups, community clubs, and organizations. These may include adult and youth meetings, hunter education and ethics programs, landowner groups and visits, as well as fairs and special events.
When I was in Lincoln County as the agent, I had a 4th grade education program where I talked to every 4th grader in Lincoln County. Basically, a conservation agent is part of their community. We're the MDC representative. We're there if they need us or they know where to get an answer from.
Along with education, an agent represents the department to his county through community relations work. This may include radio shows, media interviews, and newspaper articles, as well as many public contacts with landowners and residents.
A conservation agent is very important to their community. It gives the citizens of your county an opportunity to have one-on-one contact with the Department of Conservation. So when a question arises or a concern about anything that the Department of Conservation is involved with, their contact is the agent in that county.
Agents also help to manage the fish, forest, and wildlife resources in our state. These can vary from participating in wildlife population census and surveys to inspecting farm ponds for fish and stocking to forest fire investigations. Conservation agents train in all these areas to help manage the resources of their areas, along with biologists and other department staff.
There is no typical day with Missouri Department of Conservation, and especially as an agent. Most agents never work an 8 to 5 job. We don't really have a time schedule. You're not given a time to show up for work or to end your job. You might have a school program in the morning. You might work spotlighters at night. For anyone who's wanting a career in law enforcement and wants a variety of law enforcement, this is the best career to have. You get up in the morning, you kind of have your day planned. Next thing you know, you're going over to Mrs. Smith's house because she's got 3 raccoons in her chimney that she needs to be taken care of. So you just kind of shift your day around, take care of that problem, and then continue on.
Sometimes agents are called upon to help with emergency public services, including first aid and rescue situations. They may be called away from their community to help.
When we went to New Orleans for Hurricane Katrina, it was a group of 16 people, 16 agents, including supervisors. We had 8 boats and 8 trucks, and we worked on search and rescue of people in that area. You could boat up to front porches, you could boat up to areas where you could very easily climb to the 2nd story. We boated up to roofs of garages and got on top of the garage and went into the 2nd story of the house from there. We went into churches, schools, hotels, apartments, anywhere where there could be somebody.
These MDC agents were prepared to help in a disaster situation because of the depth and variety of training they received.
The training that we have is absolutely necessary. Everything that we do having to do with defensive tactics, paying attention to your surroundings, all those things are of the utmost importance.
Conservation agents begin their careers with an intensive period of training. This includes over 1,200 hours of training, of which 600 hours is post-training or peace officer standards training. Not all make it through, but for the ones that do, the goal is to become as field-ready as possible for any and all situations.
Missouri Department of Conservation has a 6-month training academy. Within that 6 months, you learn the basics of what it is to be a conservation agent. Along with that is all your law enforcement skills, such as firearms, boat school, EVOC, which is emergency vehicle operation, shotgun training, defensive tactics. Our law enforcement academy is just not law enforcement. You also have to learn the other aspects of your job. What to do in case of a fish kill. What to do when a guy calls up and says, hey, my fish are dying in a pond. How do I take care of my nuisance wildlife that's in my backyard, or I've got raccoons or a snake in my backyard? Those are all questions you have to be able to answer and take care of. Therefore, in our academy, it's not only the law enforcement section that you get, what rules, what regulations to enforce, but also how to handle those other problems you have to do as a conservation agent.
When, where, and how should you prepare to become a conservation agent if that is your dream or goal? Most agents recommend you start as soon as you know that's what you want to do. Getting the right education, making the right contacts, and gaining experience.
To be a conservation agent, you need a 4-year college degree in one of the natural resources. We'll even accept a degree in criminal justice, but stay within that realm of some type of science and biology degree. After that, if you can, we have internship programs while you're in college. Get on with an internship program. Make sure it's something you want to do.
Get out there and ride with the conservation agent so you have an opportunity to see what the job all entails, what it's like. That's what I was able to do as a young college student. Rode with several conservation agents and had an idea of what the job was before I ever applied. The sacrifices would be long hours, working late evenings, early mornings, time away from family.
I take calls all hours of the day, all hours of the night, on my days on my days off.
The reward is an opportunity to make a difference with the resource and protecting the resource for future generations to enjoy. That's the ultimate reward in this job.
My favorite thing is seeing a light bulb come on in the kid's head when I'm talking to them about wildlife or fisheries or forestry. Seeing people get their first deer, catch their first fish. Man, I never imagined how many people I would see catch their first fish. And I've seen so many just in the few years that I've been on, and every single time it's just so neat.
Conservation agents in Missouri are really a tight-knit group. We're more like a brotherhood or a fraternity. We depend upon one another in the field.
Conservation agents have a brotherhood, there's no question about that. When I was in New Orleans for Katrina, everybody was your best friend. Everybody worked together, everybody was there for each other.
Sometimes it's hard to believe that I get paid for doing this job because I love to do it. It's so enjoyable.
It's a good time, that's for sure.